All right, everybody, welcome into Pickaxe and Roll, brought to you by good friends here at Mile High Sports and FanDuel. I am your host, Ryan Blackburn at NBA Blackburn on Twitter, part of the Mile High Sports Podcast Network. And I am here. I am ready to discuss the Denver Nuggets and another win over the Dallas Mavericks. This time, final score 118 to 109. Denver got out to a pretty substantial lead in this one, even on the second night of a back-to-back, and held on for dear life. It was clear they were tired, clear they were like wanting that game to end as quickly as possible once they got up by about 22, 23 points in the third quarter. Unfortunately, foul trouble, exhaustion, and a renewed effort by Dallas really helped them get back into the game and make it a little bit closer at the end. But this was a dominant, like really impressive win disguised as a close game, in my opinion, and one that the Nuggets and fans can feel extremely proud about with the way that the Nuggets have taken care of business when they've been able to do so. Really good stuff from the Nuggets, really good stuff from Jamal Murray, who we will talk about extensively in the second segment. Got a lot of things that I want to discuss just and credit in the way that he has sort of built things up for the Nuggets and for himself over the course of this year. Also want to discuss what Denver looks like at full strength, because I don't think I really know yet. I don't think anybody fully really knows yet. And so it's going to be very interesting to see when that does come back about. Denver, of course, on like this past Tuesday and Wednesday, today's Thursday when I'm recording this, Tuesday, Wednesday was a back-to-back, a road back-to-back with New Orleans and Dallas. Not your murderer's row of tough teams by any stretch of the word. And like New Orleans, it was pretty solid. They actually beat Brooklyn over I think it was yesterday. And they were pretty solid and gave Denver a pretty tough effort that the Nuggets had to overcome. Dallas was just abusively injured, like to the point where like you feel bad for them at a certain point, where obviously Anthony Davis has gone down. That was pretty big news, whether he's traded or not. Kyrie Irving out for the season or pretty close to it. I don't think there's any reason for him to come back during this year now. And they've had a variety of other guys. Cooper Flagg went down during this game, missed the entire second half. Daniel Gafford rolled his ankle, I'm pretty sure, and like he had a whole bunch of injuries. So like they've also got a whole bunch of other guys, Max Christie, Derek Lively, a variety of other names that have missed for a lot of their games and put them into a pretty tough situation. So definitely have some empathy in that situation, where a team like clearly going through it has also gone through horrible injury luck, perhaps even worse than the Nuggets. But of course, the Nuggets are missing the best player in the world, and so they've had to dig deep and find a lot of different ways in which they could be successful. And they've really remade their team in the effort, like in the image of effort and getting downhill in isolation and pick and roll, creating off the dribble. And that's something that they've never really had to do before, with Jokic kind of running the show in the middle with cuts and DHOs and things of that nature. But like, and post-ups, obviously, like Denver's so low on the threshold of post-ups right now that like the paint is open. There's nobody that's trying to get into the paint that much other than the guy that's dribbling the basketball. So Denver's had to remake a lot of different ways that they are playing and the style and stuff like that. And on the second night of a back-to-back, it's always interesting to see how much energy a guy is going to have. Denver, they didn't bring Christian Brown along on this trip, so he was back home. And as a result, like you're either going to play some tired guys or you are going to rest everybody on the second night of a back-to-back. Denver played everybody, with Jamal Murray, who was questionable, ended up playing. Aaron Gordon was probable. I was surprised that he even played, but he looked pretty solid. Although at the beginning of this game, like Jamal looked gassed and Aaron looked gassed and the Nuggets looked gassed as a team. And so they had to find that extra reserve of energy during the game. And boy, did they. Like, it was very impressive to see them turn it around, even in the first quarter. turned it around from where Denver was like, they were pretty slow trying to get out of the gate. And then Murray started hitting shots. And then Gordon, like he hit a three off of a catch. It was really nice and drove and had some pretty impressive plays. Peyton Watson, less so in the first quarter, but more so the rest of the game, did a lot of good things. Denver, they're just finding ways. And that's the mentality of a really good team, is that like no matter what the situation is, no matter where you are in your schedule, you can find that extra reserve of energy and the style that you need to play in order to attack a certain team. And what the Nuggets were able to do, fortunately, in this Mavericks game, was really pack the paint. The only guy that they had to close out on the perimeter was Klay Thompson. He hit some really tough threes at the beginning of the game, but for a while there, he was the only guy that even hit a three in this entire game. The Mavericks were just so overwhelmed from a spacing perspective. I think the number that I remember in my head was 2 of 24 from three at one point. That's ridiculous. And one where Denver, that is a gift. That is a gift that you have been given as a Nuggets team, where you get to focus on the interior defense and trying to battle with some of their bigs. It was Gafford initially before he hurt himself. Dwight Powell was flopping around everywhere and being both big and small at the same time. Cooper Flagg would have, I think, been a major factor in this game had he stayed healthy and on the floor, getting downhill and doing a lot of those things. But Denver did a lot of smart things. Najee Marshall also, by the way, was really impressive. Him, it says here, Najee is such a good player. He always cooks us. I mean, that dude was awesome. He had 22 points initially, finished with 24, and like his efficiency definitely dropped. But just a really impressive showing from some of the guys getting downhill. Brandon Williams, for example, had 20 points on 6 of 13 from the field and 8 of 12 from the free throw line. These guys were driving at the Nuggets trying to get back into this game because they were not going to shoot the ball. They could not. Like, they finished 5 of 34 from three for a cool 15%. So again, anytime you have that, if you're a Nuggets fan, anytime you have that is like, it's a gift. It's one where it's not always going to happen that way. The Mavericks, next time the Nuggets play them, I don't know if they play them again, but next time another team plays them, they could shoot 45% from three against the Nuggets. They could shoot 50% from three. I do think that the Nuggets style that they are playing without Jokic is a lot more aggressive and like perimeter oriented on the defensive end. Like, they're able to close out and rotate and do all of these different things. They're also able to switch a lot more. And so that is forcing a lot of these drives and preventing a lot of these rotational threes where guys are covering on the backside and then the ball gets swung to the opposite corner and you've got a wide open shot. Denver's not giving up as many wide open shots anecdotally. I don't have the numbers on that, but it feels that way to me, that Denver's not giving up as many wide open shots. But they are weaker at the rim, and so they fortunately have not had to face a lot of teams that have been super efficient at the rim and super effective at getting there on a consistent basis. Pelicans drew fouls. A lot of these other teams have drawn fouls. Mavericks did draw fouls as well, but they also missed a lot of free throws. And so Denver's defense during this stretch has been really good. They're doing the right things. They're trying to just continue to play the right way on that end of the floor and just giving, it's not just a token effort. They're going above and beyond in a lot of these cases, which is something that you have to do when you're missing so many people. It is gassing them, as I keep trying to insist. Fortunately, the Nuggets have a couple of days off before they have a back-to-back at home on Saturday and Sunday. But holy cow, like, this team, you can see them dragging at various points. But Murray steps up, has 33 points on 13 of 24, getting into the paint on a consistent basis, did a really great job. Peyton Watson, 18 points in his 30 minutes. He dealt with foul trouble for a lot of this game, just trying to play defense, and thought he got hit with some pretty soft calls, but like, them's the breaks. That's sometimes what happens when guys are driving at you all the time. Aaron Gordon, 22 points, 8 of 12 from the field, 3 of 5 from three, 3 of 5 from the line. he was unbelievable as a shot maker. Some of the tough shots that he's hitting in like throughout this game are ridiculous. And my colleague Matt Moore keeps giving me flack for not fully internalizing the leap that Aaron Gordon has made as a jump shooter. Don't care. Like what Aaron Gordon is doing is completely transformative to who he has been as a player and has completely opened up the floor for the Nuggets to do a variety of different things. So what Aaron has done to progress his game, unbelievable stuff. And there's just a lot of things that you can point to as major credits for how the Nuggets are playing. Like the Murray 33 points, the Aaron Gordon 22, Peyton Watson 18 is great. Jalen Pickett went 2 of 4 from 3. Spencer Jones went 2 of 4 from 3. He finally got some shots to the go. That was good to see. He's been in a slump, or at least it's felt like he's been in a slump for a while here. And then off the bench, Tim Hardaway Jr. just doing what he does, 12 points, 4 of 12 from the field. It's okay. Didn't have the mass efficiency, but that's because he shot 4 of 10 from 3. Like, dude's getting him up, and the Nuggets have absolutely needed it. His plus minus is ridiculous. Like every single time I look at the box score right now, he's plus 10 in this game in 35 minutes last night. He is leading the Nuggets in plus minus a lot of the time because they value his spacing so much. And it's just nice because like Denver's got a lot of guys. You want downhill drivers with Peyton Watson. Jamal Murray's not just an outside shooter. He's trying to get into the paint. He's navigating. He's trying to set up other people. Aaron Gordon wants to do a lot of the same things. He's like inside, outside in a lot of his game. But when you have Jalen Pickett and Spencer Jones out there, it's a different level of gravity than when Tim Hardaway's out there. Now, Jalen Pickett's been playing amazing, and Spencer Jones, I think both of those guys are above 39% from 3 on the season. But again, 10 threes from Tim Hardaway Jr. When teams see Tim Hardaway Jr. coming around a screen, they panic. They want him to get off the three-point line as much as possible and not be able to take that shot. And some of the difficult shots that he keeps hitting are very, very impressive too. So like the Nuggets are just in a really good groove now. 6-3 without Nikola Jokic. And like, I think I would have reversed those numbers if because I didn't fully do the thing where I looked at the schedule and was like, here's exactly what I think they're going to do. I think I would have predicted about 3-6 during this stretch. Maybe I would have been a little bit more aggressive if I had looked and seen, okay, they're playing New Orleans, they're playing Dallas in a tough situation. They're playing some of these other teams in tough situations for themselves. But what Denver's been able to do at this point has been really, really impressive. And every single time they win a game without Nikola, it's a gift. It just is. It's one of these where you never know what you're going to get, but Denver has established a full-on identity and baseline without Nikola right now. And being able to do so and being able to commit to that and having other guys step up, it has been truly, truly impressive. I think that, and like, here's one other thing that I'll say. There's a lot, and I know Nuggets fans aren't doing this. There's a lot of fans around the NBA that are looking at this stretch from the Nuggets and being like, well, clearly Jokic is not the MVP. I mean, look at the super team that he's got behind him. Look at, like, they're winning without him. Look at all these guys that are getting better. No, they're stepping up. Like, I think guys are getting better in some ways. I think that Jamal Murray has been the same player, just kind of amped it up over the course of this stretch without Nikola. He's had the ball in his hands more. Peyton Watson is improving every day as a player. He is like a young guy who is taking steps forward as he's gaining more opportunities and gaining more confidence. That wasn't like him not breaking out before wasn't because of Nikola. Like, it's Denver has a system. They have an operation that they run through. And so getting Peyton more opportunities in this way has been really valuable for him. But it doesn't mean that, like, obviously, like, Nuggets fans don't think this, but if Denver took this team to the playoffs, like as is without Nikola, without Cam Johnson, without Jonas Valanciunas, I do think they'd probably be a first round exit or something like that. But fortunately, we don't have to deal with those scenarios. And fortunately, like everything here is all about what the Nuggets can then be at full strength because they've learned and identified some stuff about themselves during this stretch that if they scramble on a consistent basis, if they are amping up the effort on a consistent basis, if they like have opportunities to drive to the paint, there's a lot of stuff that they've learned about the non-Nikola minutes that can really help them, I think, going forward. Like there's a lot of like they've seen the confidence, they've seen the opportunity, they've seen what they can do. There is a sort of gravity about who Nikola is and the style that he plays that like when you're stop playing that style and you do something completely different during a game, it gets a little bit jarring. It gets a little bit weird. But I do think that what the Nuggets have learned about themselves far outpaces that. They have like this is the best stretch of the year, as I mentioned in the topics rundown. Like it's not from a record standpoint. Like they went 12-2 at the beginning of the season or 10-2 or whatever it was. And they won 7 games in a row at one point. Like they have had better stretches from a wins perspective. But in terms from a value perspective, what this has done for the Nuggets as a catalyst, as a growth opportunity for the rest of the year and a propelling point off of like a jumping off point for where the Nuggets go from here, it does feel like this is a different group than the group that started the season. And they've had to grow into something. And so really nice to see, really valuable stuff. I can't wait to see what this team looks like when they are healthy and can they bring different elements to a group that has this baseline of having the best player in the world creating easy shots on a consistent basis. Like there's a lot that they can do. I also think that if Nikola is watching this, not my show, but like the games, hey, who knows? Maybe he's a Pickaxe and Roll subscriber. If he's watching what's going on right now, I think he might be able to see that he doesn't have to be the volume scorer anymore because Peyton Watson has grown into the scorer, because Jamal Murray can step up and do this stuff, because there's a lot of other guys that have shown they can grow in that role. And as long as you are featuring and setting the table for guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. and like getting easy cuts for Spencer Jones and allowing Jalen Pickett to like explore his game a little bit, like these guys have a lot to give. And it's been cool to see them credited by the masses. It's been cool to see them have their opportunity to shine, because on a Jokic-led team, you don't always have that opportunity to shine individually because like so much of it is concentrated through him, rightfully so. Like, I mean, why wouldn't you do what everybody does? Like when you have a star player like that is as heliocentric and you can run offense through and immediately generate a great possession. It's great. It's going to be interesting to see whether this provides any evolution or different layers or different perspectives for the Nuggets to bring on the season as a whole. All right, let's take a break. When we talk next, we're going to do Jamal Murray. We're going to talk about what he has brought to the table for this Nuggets team and stepping up as a full-on all-star and somebody that the Nuggets can count on night in and night out. We'll be right back here on Pickaxe and Roll. This podcast is brought to you by Delete Me. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone feel vulnerable. Data brokers, they profit off of your data. It's a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, and harassment. Have you ever been the victim of identity theft, harassment, doxing? If you haven't, you probably know someone who has. Delete Me can help. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to deleteme.com/hit and use promo code HIT at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/HIT and enter code HIT at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/HIT, code HIT. All right, we are back. Pickaxe and Roll, Ryan Blackburn. Thank you so much for tuning into the show, folks. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Would really, really appreciate it. Let's do the Jamal Murray conversation now, because I mean, there's no ignoring this if you're an NBA fan. Like, what you are seeing from the Nuggets primarily has come down from the growth, like without Jokic, has primarily come down to the growth of Peyton Watson and the steadiness of Jamal Murray and the ability to scale up. Like, other guys have absolutely made stuff happen. It's been great. Other guys have obviously really stepped up, and there's been a lot of winners during this stretch. Zeke Naji has had his moments, although I do think he's kind of cooling off, and there's been some things I haven't liked from him on this back-to-back. But there is also plenty of things to be positive about. Aaron Gordon, of course, deserves a ton of credit. Playing a back-to-back in the first place with the injuries that he has sustained might be a little bit dangerous, but also like deserves a ton of credit for being the level of player in that stretch. But the real like jump that has not just sustained the Nuggets through this stretch, but throughout the season, as they've had to undergo different metamorphoses and different styles of play, Jamal Murray has been the best he's ever been. And I mean, like, this is better than bubble Jamal. This is better than finals Jamal. This is better than conference finals Jamal, where he finds these different opportunities throughout the year, and it's every night with him. There is no break. There is no difference here. Like, what he is bringing to the table on a consistent basis has been truly, truly unbelievable. For perspective, last year, Jamal averaged 21.4 points per game, 6 assists flat, 1.4 steals, which is higher than where it is now. And he shot 47.4% from the field, 39.3% from three, 88% from the line. Some of those numbers are pretty close. Like, the 2-point percentage, he's basically the same. The free throw percentage, he's basically the same. He's currently at 89.2%. He really wants to jump up to that 90%, but I don't think he's going to be able to get the 50% from the field unless he gets to take a lot more easy shots. But he's taking hard shots right now. He's upped his 3-point attempts from 5.9 last year to 7.7 this year. 3-point percentage last year, 39.3. 3-point percentage this year, 44.6. The dude is the best 3-point shooter in the NBA right now, or really close to it. I don't know how to like fully parse that because he truly has been unbelievable. Overall numbers, I'm going to circle back to that. Career high in PER, career high in true shooting percentage, not a career high in 3-point attempt rate, but a career high in free throw rate as somebody who's driving to the rim and drawing fouls. Career high in assist rate, career high in rebound rate, a career low in turnover rate. He's at 10.0% this year. Last year he was at 10.1. He has gotten smarter. He has gotten more precise with the ball. He has been extremely good at that. Career high in usage rate, career highs across the board for him. And another factor that I think deserves a ton of credit is his splits month by month. Last year in October, 18.8 points per game. November, 17.8. December, 22. Like, really jumped and pretty close. January, 21.3. February, 24.7. March, 23.0. April, 15.5, only a couple of games. Not worried about that one. But like, he only had 2 months where he was at 23 points per game or higher. I would say that in the modern NBA, like 23 is about the number that you have to have at minimum to be an all-star guard. Like, everybody in the NBA, unless you are doing crazy stuff as a playmaker or defender or rebounder or whatnot, you have to have at least like 23 points per game or so. This season, his month-by-month splits, October, 26 points per game. November, 23.2, like still high enough. And then like it was a little bit of a down month for Jamal, is now 23-7. December, 26.5 points per game to go with 7.4 assists. And now in January, in 5 games in January, 30.2 points per game, 10.8 assists, and doing so while maintaining his shooting, maintaining his efficiency. 49.1% from the field, 40.5% from three, a little bit down from what he was doing. In December, like actually October, 39.4% from three, November, 41.4% from three, December, 50.5% from three in December, January's at 40.5. December's probably an outlier month that is propelling him a lot higher, but he still amped it up as a three-point shooter and was amazing during that stretch. The long and short of this, and like he's been one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. He's been one of the best playmakers in the NBA. Yesterday was the final day for All-Star voting. So if you didn't vote for Jamal for All-Star, shame on you. You deserve punt. No, you do. I'm sorry. That was weird. No, it's understandable because like I don't think that he's going to outpace Steph Curry, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards. Like I think that those four, from not just a number standpoint, but certainly from a popularity standpoint, outstrip Jamal. Like they have a higher level of popularity than him in that situation. So it was never going to be a situation where he was going to be voted as an all-star starter. However, coaches are going to vote for all-star reserves, and I think he's a lock. I don't see how you could possibly, like, don't make me reverse jinx this. I don't see how you could possibly not vote for him at this point. What he has provided for the Nuggets in the midst of Jokic's absence, in the midst of the different layers of injuries to other guys, like without Christian Brown, without Aaron Gordon, Murray stepped up and Murray like improved as a two-man game option with Nikola Jokic, and then even staggered, sometimes didn't stagger, but they really just put the team on their back during that stretch for a lot of the time. And then without Jokic, he put the team on the back even more and just like has amped up the scoring and playmaking volume to ridiculous levels. And now is like putting up numbers. Just looking at those January splits, how many players in NBA history could average 30 points and 10.8 assists? Like nearly 30 and 11. Even for like a 10-game stretch, like a 5 to 10 game stretch. How many guys can actually do that from a volume standpoint? There's not many. Like you could probably get like 20 to 25 people overall that, okay, you could realistically do that during the stretch. You could realistically, for a prolonged period of time, you could really amp things up and then you would gas out. And so that's the fear with Jamal eventually, is that this has been a lot. He's fought through sickness. He's been on the floor. He's had various ankle rolls and things of that nature. And so you don't want him to wear down in a season where the like winning a championship is so important for the Nuggets and being valuable in that respect is so important. But just to get there and just to put Denver in that situation where they can be a top 3 seed, like you think about it from last year's perspective, Denver fell to a 4 seed when they dealt with injuries to Aaron Gordon, when they didn't have the depth that they do have now, the confidence that they do have now, things like that. It's just Murray was a different level of player last year. He was coming off of an injury, whatever it is, different level of player. This year he has amped it up and put himself into a significantly different place. Hey, we've got a super chat from Mr. Exquisite Nugget. Thank you for the super chat. He says, Jamal is number 15 for All-Star. Could he be a reserve? Number 15. I'm not sure what you mean by that. specifically? Is it like Jokic? Jokic for the All-Star? Is that what you're trying to say here? I'm a little bit confused, but he could absolutely be a reserve. And I actually think I've gone through this before. He could absolutely be a reserve. Let me see if I can find my previous um, things that I have like taken a look for. It's been a little bit since I talked about Murray's All-Star case, but like he of course deserves it and deserves plenty of the credit for what's been going on here. No, I'm not seeing it here, but like the guys that I would consider overall to be locks, as I mentioned at the guard positions, you've got Steph, you've got Shea, you've got Luka, you've got Ant. I think all four of those guys have proven to be locks. Now, if you compare Murray's numbers to Anthony Edwards, like you might find some very interesting comparisons. I'll do that live here for people so that they could see it. I do want to make it clear though that Anthony Edwards has had a fantastic season, and he's the primary reason why the Timberwolves are also like in range of what's going on for like for everybody else. Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers here. Murray doubles up Anthony Edwards from a playmaking standpoint, but there's a lot of other things that Ant's doing. He's like nearly 29 points per game. He's doing a lot of interesting things as a playmaker overall. Gonna put up the direct screenshot here from Basketball Reference. Thank you, Cedric, for the super chat. I really appreciate it, man. It's always valued, always appreciated. Didn't mean to forget it for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you look at Jamal versus Ant, and I think that you have to give Ant the credit there for what he has been able to accomplish. Like EFG percentage, like you would expect Murray with the efficiency that he's had from three, with the efficiency that he's had from the free throw line. Obviously, EFG doesn't count for free throw line stuff, but what Ant does on a consistent basis deserves credit. Now, to be fair, like doesn't just have to be Anthony Edwards that they are really trying to get through. Okay, I'm looking here at this 15th in voting. Gosh, that makes sense. Yeah, because it was the popularity, like the All-Star returns at that point, 15th in voting. I do think that makes sense. But yeah, like it feels to me like you just get past those four guards and there's nobody else from a front court standpoint. Like you're going to have to vote. Like here's how it works, I think, for people to understand. They're going to vote in 5 starters, and I would guess that it's going to be Shea, one of Luka or Steph. You might even get both. Like I'm not sure if they have to do like no. We'll say Luka. We'll say Luka for now. Jokic, of course, will be voted as a starter. I think Kevin Durant will be voted as a starter. And maybe Wemby? Like, I'm not even sure who's going to be the starters in the front court. But, like, you have to get 6 front court guys, both starters and bench, in there for the Western Conference. And so that leaves 2 wild cards. There just isn't an argument for any other guard over Murray outside of the 4 that I was talking about. And there certainly isn't an argument for any front court guy because like Murray has been amazing as like within that realm of backcourt guys. Those 5, Murray, Curry, Shea, Luka, and Ant, yeah, have all like clearly deserved it. Devin Booker will get some credit. And other guys will like get into that range as well. James Harden is somebody that will always get some layer of credit, but I don't know how you can look at the way that the Clippers season has gone and the way that the Nuggets season has gone and think, oh yeah, we have to vote in James Harden over Jamal Murray. Like there is no argument for that. So I think that Murray's in, and I knock on wood because I mean we've seen crazier snubs before. But you can't look at the numbers and what he's been able to put together. He's nearly at 26 points per game and over 7 assists per game while shooting at the level that he is and just leading the Nuggets in so many different ways. Like there is no serious argument from a serious person that they could possibly make that would sway me on this. There's nothing, absolutely nothing. So I love it. I think it's great for the Nuggets. I said this before. It is great for the Nuggets to get to a place where Jokic is not the only one receiving credits, receiving awards, receiving validation for the work that he does. Because what that was, it was feeding into the idea that Jokic was the only player worth talking about for the Nuggets. And it's just not true. Now, Murray has improved. Peyton Watson has improved. Aaron Gordon is stepping up in a major way. David Adelman deserves Coach of the Year consideration for how he's handling this. Tim Hardaway Jr., maybe you could get something for six man. There's some validation that certainly gets to happen here for all of the other guys, and it's really cool. Peyton Watson Truther says, we all know how great Murray is. That's not true. Like, I think that it turned. Like, think about the way that the season ended and think about, okay, game 7 happened last year. Nuggets gassed out. Murray plays poorly in the final game against OKC. There's a lot of defending of Jokic for, hey, like hounded by Alex Caruso and the swarming OKC defense throughout game 7. But Murray just got tired. Murray just got like clearly he's not in shape. Clearly, like that's a narrative. Clearly, like he doesn't deserve the max contract that he got. There was a while where everyone was wanting to trade Jamal, and like kind of the way that Christian Brown is going for this year, like everyone was very much of the mind, or not everyone, but certainly a large segment of Nuggets fans were of the mind that Murray was the problem. Murray needed to be gone. And like the way that he was playing at various points, it was an understandable perspective. But the Nuggets had the long view in mind. They know who Murray is as a talent, as a player. And I think that they were willing to kind of go through that and understood what it meant. And so Murray took that to heart in this offseason, improved himself, improved his game, provided some leadership, and just became a better basketball player than where he was before. He wouldn't say that he's a better basketball player, or maybe he would, I don't know. But like, I think he is a better basketball player, more well-rounded person, just somebody who has a little bit more perspective and understanding and has gone through the highs and lows and understands what it takes to be great. And he has really applied that for this year and has been truly tremendous as a result. We're not going to, yeah, this says here, I remember the Jamal for quickly combos last year. Yeah, I mean, there were conversations. I was going through the scenarios. Like, I remember in the offseason thinking, okay, well, if Denver does decide that they have to get off of Jamal Murray's contract, as opposed to Michael Porter's contract, for example, like, what is it going to take? And like the combination of Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett and sending Jamal Murray to Canada, that came up. So like, it's wild to think about. Like these were conversations that were happening and like going through different layers. Now, Jamal's made those conversations dumb, and I'm glad that he has, because it's better for the Nuggets. Like, you get to support the guys that you drafted and like have been in your organization for a long time. It's way more fun that way. Like, this is the best scenario that they could ask for. So really cool to see. All right. Good stuff. I'm not going to be able to get to the Nuggets at full strength. Maybe that's something that I do next. On Saturday, I'm going to do a show from number 38. Denver plays on Saturday and Sunday downtown in a back-to-back. And so I'm not going to do a reaction after the game on that Saturday. I think it's better that I just do one before. And what I'm going to do is, I think, mid-season grades for the Nuggets. So now that there are 41 games played, 28-13, they're on pace for 56 wins, despite the fact that they've missed Jokic for as long as they have and other starters for as long as they have. Like, in a really good position, second in the Western Conference, in large part due to the abilities of Jamal Murray to scale up, Peyton Watson developing, David Adelman doing amazing things of that nature. Will be interesting to see where the Nuggets go from here. Let me know down in the comments. We'll talk about this on Saturday. What grade would you give each of the Nuggets rotation players at this point of the season? And who are you most interested in seeing for the rest of the year for the second half of the 2025-26 regular season? I'm going to guess it's Peyton Watson and Christian Brown. I'll take a wild guess on that. So we'll see what happens. But for now, everybody, that is going to do it for this episode of Pickaxe and Roll, brought to you by good friends here at Mile High Sports and FanDuel. Actually, okay. Before I go, I do have to fulfill an obligation. A few days ago, the Nuggets were plus 850 to win the title. They are now down to plus 700 on FanDuel. Plus 700. OKC's plus 115. Their odds haven't changed. Denver's odds have improved. I think that the public sentiment here is that the Nuggets and the way that they have stepped up has really given a lot of people some stuff to think about for this stretch. Denver's plus 700 to win the title right now. Nobody else is close. Only teams plus 1,200 for San Antonio, plus 1,300 for Knicks, plus 1,300 for the Rockets, plus 1,700 for the Pistons. Where are the T-Wolves? Minnesota's plus 3,500. That's worth $1. I'll say that. Will be interesting to see what happens here. But holy cow, folks, it's been very impressive to see. Buzzer beater super chat from Mr. Exquisite Nugget Cedric. You think in February Joker comes back fully healthy? I do. And I actually think it's going to be sooner than that. I think that we are about a week away from Nikola returning. I will say that. It's not going to be a full 4 weeks, I don't think. He is rearing. He is ready to go. He's doing on-court work, and it's probably not going to happen immediately. But I do think that the Nuggets play, I'm pretty sure, the Lakers on January 20th. I would guess that he comes back after that game, not for that game. I'd guess that he comes back after that game, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Going to be very curious to see when Jokic returns, because this thing is once he gets added back into this mix, lots of very interesting things are going to happen. So I can't wait to watch. All right, now that is going to do it for this episode of Pickaxe and Roll, brought to you by our good friends at Mile High Sports and FanDuel. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out. I'll talk to you guys very soon.